Smith, the television mathematician. Well, Paul is crafting a similar space, but on social media. He's also written a book called Just Pass Maths. Paul, thanks so much for joining us here on The Morning Review. I hope you are well today.
Yes, I am. Good morning to all our listeners and who's listening this morning. I hope you're going to enjoy this, what I'm about to say. We'll share with you guys.
Well, I hope it's good seeing that you've prompted yourself like that. But anyway, look, even with the help of William Smith, let me put that straight from the bat. I was someone who was sent to master maths, had tutoring lessons in someone's garage every day after school. I would try and get a little bit of revision from William Smith, but it was never for me, mathematics as a subject, largely because I was not necessarily inspired to understand why mathematics is important. Now, in the age of 37 years old, and I am fascinated by everything from astrophysics to the utility of mathematics in the James Webb Space Telescope. I'm absolutely now enthralled with the subject of mathematics, science. I didn't study physics at school, but I'm absolutely fascinated by it now. When we describe the utility of why maths is important to a 14, 15, 16-year-old, do you think we get it right from an educational system point of view?
To be honest, I don't think so. I think the problem that we have, I was taking a jog this morning and some thoughts went through my mind, like, to prepare myself now for this interview is, I think the education system has been stuck at the same place for the past 50 years, which is in classroom, in front of a green board, or nowadays it's more modern, it's in front of an active whiteboard. And I think students and learners, and I've done this survey on social media, because there's where more youngsters are they're involved on social media. And I've done this survey on TikTok specifically, and that's where most of the youngsters are hanging out. And the survey, the question I asked there was, and the poll I did was, how many of you guys want to be lectured or lectured in classroom, or do you want to do the math, or apply the math concepts outdoors? And most of them said, okay, we want to be outdoors and learn these concepts. So I think, I don't think it's the teacher's fault. I basically think it's the education system that are stuck at the past 50, 70 years at the same place, which is in the classroom, in front of the green or white active board.
David Mania, the Education NBC, is saying one of the reasons for some schools dropping STEM subjects altogether is the inability to attract younger and newer teachers, particularly teachers who could teach maths and science in other languages except English. Mother tongue education is extremely important. I know through your channels, you're not only doing these online classes teaching maths in English, but also in Afrikaans. If you look at a Western Cape population of Afrikaans speakers, what do you think is the difficulty in attracting newer, younger teachers to the classroom to particularly teach maths and science through the medium of mother tongue?
The first part of the question, I would say we don't have enough young teachers because we don't have enough students that are passionate about the subject. When it gets to grade 11 or 12, they're not passionate because maybe there's a lot of reasons. Because I got the same question on that a student asked me a few weeks ago, and I said, look here, there can be many reasons why you are struggling. Okay. And to get to your question again, to answer your question, is we don't get enough young, passionate teachers. It's because we don't have passionate students that are passionate in maths and physics when they get to grade 11 or grade 12. And yes, the second part of the question in terms of languages, well, in my case, I saw there was also a lot of Afrikaans students that were following me on social media. And I told myself, because last year I was just doing these English versions of where I explain something within 15 to 30 seconds and post it online. But this year I was like, okay, there is also a large community where they ask me Afrikaans stuff. And I think there should be, we already have 11 official languages in our country. And the Minister of Education said, okay, we need to add 3 more, which is Khoi, or I don't know what is the other 3. But we only have math and physics that is explained in two languages mainly. So I think that's a bit of a gap that the education system need to look at as well.
Talk to me about your particularly online presence. I grew up in a time where William Smith was everyone's maths teacher on television. Social media has created this space where teachers are taking conversations and lessons online. YouTube, I know TikTok videos can be as long as 3 minutes. How can you do a math lesson in 3 minutes?
Like I've many ways of doing it. So sometimes in the past, which was last year and the year before that, on TikTok, I was only doing 10 seconds, 13 seconds, 15 seconds. Now recently I'm doing 1 minute stuff. But let's say, for instance, it's 3 minutes, I will post it. It doesn't matter how many views I get. Even if I get 100 or 500 views or 1 million views, that is 500 students that are watching this specific 15-second video. And so if it's a 3-minute video, and then if I explain maybe a chapter or a section or specific concept within 3 minutes, I will chop it up into maybe 5 or more pieces, because the attention span of youth nowadays is a little bit shorter, and you need to make it more attractive and fun. So nowadays, the series that I'm running now on TikTok specifically is where I show students, look here, you can do math anywhere. So I'm doing math. It's mainly in Afrikaans, where I show them, okay, you can do math while you standing in the rain at the bus stop. So I'm literally standing outside in the rain. I'm in the rain, standing, doing math on a piece of paper. I'm doing math while it's load shedding. I'm showing them actually there isn't a reason, but the thing is I'm making it more interesting. So that's how my goal is. That's how I've tried to attract them.
There's a video of yours. I think the school bell goes. Then you say, "Oh, it's intervals over," or something like that. We have 2 minutes to do a maths equation, and then the other bell goes. And so in 2 minutes, I am going to do this this equation for you, and I'm going to explain. I think the issues with many young people is that they don't have the confidence to attempt. I certainly didn't have the confidence. I understand the utility of mathematics and STEM subjects now at this stage in my life, but I don't think many young people, 15, 16-year-olds, see the utility and the confidence in why I need this particular subject. If you were to talk to a young person, say, I'm not going to need this after school, well, then you say, no, actually you probably would. If it depends on problem-solving skills that you may need in any form of career, that would be the utility.
So I think, for instance, after this interview, I'm on my way there's a coding competition or coding tournament. And if we can take these kids to certain events and show them, like for instance, this competition or this tournament I'm talking about, this is where grade 6 to grade 9 students are applying their basic math skills to write a program so that a robot can move. Because we're looking at the 4th industrial revolution now, where we need to get more into technology and science and technology specifically. So if we can show them, okay, you actually need maths if you want to get into medicine, if you want to become a constructional or engineer, or for instance, in this case, if you want to build robots, in order for this robot to move, you need to show them, okay, you need to add 1 step to 5 more steps so that the robot can move forward. So I think we need to show them more practical things in this field that you're going to need. Okay, the basic math and also math. Maybe not the more complex things that we see on TV that are trying to manipulate us, where the professor is writing on the green board and doing a lot of complex calculations that I don't understand. But I think we need to take them to more career exposure and all of those other things where they can apply these things on practical and in real life.
You're a maths teacher, so let me throw this message to you. The problem, Lester, is the maths teacher. The subject is taught by people who are very linear in their thinking. We should get engineers to teach maths and not pretend to be clever teachers because they use it in applications. We want essentially an engineer to teach maths. What's your thoughts on that?
I'm not trying to bash anyone, but I won't say specifically someone that's, like an engineer, because there's many people or that's in the profession, they know the stuff, and I've experienced this in my first year on university. They really, really know the stuff. They're professors in that math or whatever the case may be, but they don't know how to explain the stuff and bring the message over across to the student to really show them, okay, this is how you do it and this is where we're going to apply it. So I don't think specifically it's going to be an engineer, but if you can explain it, because there's many schools, I think there's certain schools, I might be wrong, where students that's in a higher grade, but they have this tutoring program and they help other students, maybe they're in grade 12 math students, they're doing very good at math. But they have this tutoring program at school, but they're helping a grade 8 or grade 9 student. So I think those are the type of people that are passionate about the subjects like maths and physics.
Let's listen to a quick voice note here. 072-567-1567 of why some schools in the Western Cape are dropping maths and science subjects completely. And this is because the Western Cape Education Department says, one, there's not enough maths and science teachers, and two, there's simply a dwindling interest from learners. Let's have a listen.
Lester, I'm very glad that you've got your guest on today. But something which maybe I've missed, but I've been listening carefully, is that the vast majority, certainly of my students at Makoni Primary in Langa, do not have the wherewithal to get online to see what he's producing. And so we have to go to the chalk and talk. I'm hoping we do it well enough. But I think the important thing is the shortage of teachers to give those basics in numeracy, because everybody needs numeracy skills. Doesn't matter whether you're going to take a mathematical career up. You know that I'm long since retired, and there are many of us who were in the profession, perhaps we took the package, who would be willing to help out with this sort of thing. I'd really like to hear your opinion on that. It's Ross from Thornton.
Your response to Ross, Paulvin?
Yes, I agree with Mr. Ross. And, in the first year of lockdown, which was that first 3-4 months, the Minister of Education said, we're going to do online and we're going to do online. And even I was listening to some of the teachers that were interviewing on specific programs where they said, okay, we need to do these online things. But like Mr. Ross is saying, not everybody have that access to internet or the television even. I mean, there's kids already sitting under trees. There's certain impoverished communities and they don't have benches and they're sitting under trees. So I think that's something that we have to look at in terms of we can't just do things online. We have to do it offline as well. But that's where I have to say we need to look at parents also assist.
Sorry, we got our lines crossed there. But Paulvin, unfortunately, running out of time. Go search him online. Paulvin Webster, some of the other platforms that you're available on where people can maybe search and you could show children some of the light of the wonders of STEM subjects in short bite-sized chunks, Paulvin?
Definitely, they can email me. But they can basically just type my name in Google. They will see there. They can just pop me a question wherever. I will try to get the message to them wherever they, or the answer to them wherever they may find me.
Paulvin Webster, thanks so much for joining us. Coming up now for 10 o'clock.